Hi, I'm Morgan.
And I'm Jake, and this is
Neverland Navigation Radio.
where we celebrate the epic opening of Orlando's newest theme park.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my gosh, can you believe we're here?
I have been surprised about this for like the whole time it's been happening.
What
So
do you mean?
I just I don't know. I just expected the next theme park to come from Disney.
Yeah, it was very surprising when Universal was like, all right, we're doing it. We're
Yeah.
going to be the next ones. We
Yeah.
were both kind of like, wow, what an escalation in the theme park race going
I
on.
think that it really pulls them closer into the race. Like I mean, we're Disney super fans, but
Hmm.
you know, I don't know. It
It's a
makes
big
it
step.
Yes, it's a big step. It's a
Right.
big step. Yeah,
Their
it's a good word.
biggest probably since the Wizarding World, do you think? Because
Yeah,
that was like a
that was
massive
huge
deal
too. That
for
was
them.
huge. Yeah. Well, and I think also like a thing that I always think about is like, well, they've got like Marvel rides, but Disney owns Marvel, right? And but now
Hmm.
this is like they opened a whole new park with a bunch of new lands that I don't think Disney could take.
Yeah,
And it's very exciting. It's very exciting for the community in Florida, just for theme park enthusiasts in general. And
totally.
Jake got to go, and I can't wait to hear about it.
Yeah, I was able to go to a preview date. It was my first time ever going to a theme park before it was open, which was a very strange experience and very different from how we normally experience theme parks. So there were some things that were not operational that I was not able to experience. But I was able to do a bunch of stuff and I didn't die from the heat, so I'll be able to tell you about it a little bit.
I'm so excited to hear about it.
Yeah. I did not expect to be able to go before opening, but they made preview tickets available. And I had a friend who said, we're definitely going to go. So if you want to come, buy your ticket right now and then we'll go as a group. And I said, okay. So I did. And when we got there, we realized immediately there were signs letting us know that a couple of the attractions would not be operational, so we did not get to ride Donkey Kong Minecart Madness, which is the kind of, I would say, the most exciting thing in this Super Mario
Yeah,
land, because it's not, they don't have this
in
ride in
Hollywood. Yeah.
Hollywood, so this was our exclusive. Also down was Curse of the Werewolf, which is a
Oh,
spinning roller coaster in Dark Universe.
okay.
So we were not, that was down all day, so we weren't able to do that. And the final thing that we did not get to experience was Battle of the Ministry, which is a Harry Potter
Wow.
ride, because the day before we went, they took away the virtual queue for that
Ah,
attraction. So it was a
okay.
300-minute
Okay.
standby line all day
So
long.
you could have gone. It just would
That,
have been your whole day.
yes, it did go down a couple times throughout the day. So I don't know how long we would have been in line for it. But we decided that we, instead of spending a majority of our day trying to ride that one ride, that we were gonna
Yeah, that sucks.
kind of, yeah, we were kind of disappointed by how much of how the wait
Why would
time
they
made it
do that?
impossible to
Yeah,
ride it. Yeah.
bummer. Okay, well, before we get too far into
Oh
it,
yeah, sorry, we
uh,
dove right in.
yeah, before we get too far into it, because I do have some questions and Jake's going to give us the full lowdown.
Okay.
I do want to say if you are thinking about taking a vacation of any kind, if you're thinking about going to Epic Universe or you're thinking about taking a Disney vacation or a cruise vacation, please, please, please send me an email at neverlandnavigationco@gmail.com. I am a free to you travel agent. And when you booked your own vacation online, you can do that. But the price of your personal travel agent is already baked into that price, even if you get a great deal. So you might as well use a travel agent so that you're getting what you pay for. You'll have somebody that can advocate for you if something goes wrong. You
Hmm.
have somebody that can get up at 6 a.m. and make dining reservations. You have somebody that can wait on hold to call in your request for a high floor, whatever it may be. In addition to that, I give a free gift from our 5-star Etsy stores to my clients. So there's really no downside in addition to helping a small business. So all you have to do is email me at neverlandnavigationco@gmail.com.
Yes, absolutely. And if you guys are on a listening platform like Apple Podcasts or Spotify, thank you so much for joining us for the show. If you'd like to help support us, keep making episodes, you can do that by subscribing so you can see when new episodes come out each week, and by leaving us a review to let us know that you've enjoyed the show. And if you'd like to see the visual version of the podcast, we also post those every week for free on the Neverland Navigation Co. YouTube channel. So we'd love to see you over there as well.
Okay, so let me dive back in.
Okay.
Did you ride everything else?
How
many rides are there?
I don't know off the top of my head.
I'm gonna look it up.
All right.
Sorry.
I did not ride every single thing else because we kind of, at one point, our party kind of split up and we did different things throughout the lands that we really wanted to get done before we left.
Sure.
So there were some things in the Isle of Berk, which is the How to Train Your Dragon land, that I did not get to. But I was able to ride the coaster in that land, Wing Gliders, which was a very enjoyable experience. I really liked that ride, and we did kind of spend some time just taking in the theming in that land, which was a very fun experience. But other than that, we were able to ride everything that was operational. Yeah.
Okay. You did I'll go down the list. Okay. Actually, I'll do that later. I want to go down the list and ask you about each individual thing.
Okay.
A couple of weird accessibility questions that I have because Universal has had a little bit of issues with accessibility stuff in the past. Did you notice or have you heard of any issues with size mattering for the rides in this new park, or do you think they learned their lesson?
In terms of fitting on rides, it was something that I was a little bit concerned about. Everyone in our party was able to fit on everything somewhat comfortably. If you're able to ride Velocicoaster, then you're able to ride everything at Epic Universe.
Okay.
So in that regard, I don't think that it is less accessible than anything that they've previously offered.
Well, we have a Neverland Navigation friend that couldn't ride Hagrid's. So is that's worse than Velocicoaster?
I'm actually not 100% sure. I think they might be similar.
Okay.
So I think it might be kind of close. The only thing that was, I would say, a tight fit was Stardust Racers is a little bit restrictive.
Okay.
And that, I would say, I've seen people say online that is very similar to the restraint for Velocicoaster. So it's kind of a similar fit.
Interesting. Okay. All right. And then the second accessibility part that I keep seeing and hearing about, the excessive amount of stairs.
Yeah, I did notice that there were a lot of stairs.
More so than the other parks, because we've mentioned this before.
Yes, Universal loves stairs.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is with them.
It's crazy. I even as somebody that has no problem with stairs, I don't like stairs as a ride queue thing.
Yeah.
It puts you in an awkward situation, I feel like sometimes, you know, when you're face to butt with somebody. Go on. Yeah,
no, there are a lot of stairs. In a lot of the attractions, stairs are part of the queue. In Monsters Unchained, there are stairs in the queue. In Mario Kart, there are stairs in the queue. I think there are stairs in the queue of Battle of the Ministry, although we weren't able to experience that. So there are a lot of stairs going on. I believe there are accessible alternatives to taking the stairs in each of those
has to be
queues, you know, for ADA purposes.
Right.
But yeah, lots of stairs. So if you're someone who has knee impact issues, then maybe that would be something you would want to consider before visiting Epic Universe, or gear yourself up for mentally, because we did spend a lot of time on stairs.
It's certainly something to know, you know what I mean, going into it, because Disney has almost no stairs in queues.
Yeah, very true.
If not, well, no, definitely some. There's some in Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Can't think of many more, although now that I say that, there probably are more. But anyway, I'm surprised by this. It must be a footprint thing, right?
I think so. I think that is. I think part of it is a footprint thing, and I think another part of it is that some of the rides are on multiple levels of the building, so they want for ride path purposes like a they want to start on a particular level and then the ride.
That I get.
Mhm.
Like that I get that. Like on Tiana's Bayou Adventure, I'm going to reference back to what I know.
Right.
Like they need to get you up high because that's where you've got to drop down. So that makes
Exactly.
sense. Okay, but and I haven't been yet,
Hmm.
but I've heard that there's even some up and down and up again in the queues in Epic Universe, and I'm just like, so you're just it must just be a footprint thing.
Yeah, that I would have to assume would be a footprint thing. We didn't experience that. We
Okay,
only
maybe it was an
experienced
exaggeration.
could be,
The
yeah.
internet, you know.
Yeah, and the attractions that did have stairs in the queue that I remember, being Monsters Unchained and Mario Kart, Bowser's Challenge. Both of those situations, it was you walked upstairs to another portion of the queue, and then you were loaded onto the ride. So there was no, for
Okay.
us, there was no up and down.
Okay. Interesting.
But there might be stairs in Battle of the Ministry, and that might be what they're referring to.
Maybe.
So,
Yeah. I mean, is that the biggest ride there then? I take it?
That is definitely the ride that had the longest wait.
Yeah.
Was Battle of the Ministry. So yeah, I would say that's probably going to be their most popular ride, probably because of the popularity of Harry Potter.
It's interesting because when we heard about this new Harry Potter land,
Mm-hmm.
I have heard some people kind of dismissing it as that this land is more geared towards the newer movies that didn't actually do well.
Right.
So I didn't expect it to be crazy, but a good ride's a good ride. Maybe it's just a great ride.
Yeah. I think because of
like with Pandora.
Oh, that's actually a really good comparison because Avatar, despite its financial success in the box office, might not be the most resident.
Not for us,
IP
for sure, but we
people,
love the ride.
But it's a great ride.
Yeah.
I also think because Universal has a history of making really compelling Harry Potter attractions.
True.
Really good ones.
Yes.
We don't live for Harry Potter. We don't love Harry Potter.
Yeah.
But we were kind of blown away by the Harry Potter rides.
Yeah, they are some of my favorite.
Exactly. So I think that might be part of it.
It's a fantastic point. It really is.
Yeah. I think that is baked into the wait time for sure.
Okay. I have so many more questions, but like, should I start with rides or entertainment or food?
Oh.
Did you eat much?
We ate.
Okay, let's go there. That's our favorite topic.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I could talk about food all day.
I can't wait.
We had lots of little snacks around. That's something that they're good at this park, it turns out, is having little themed snack things for each land that are really themed and on theme.
Ooh, nice.
And I thought that was really fun. Some of the ones that stand out for me right away are in the Mario land, the Nintendo land. There was a calzone that was called a red shell calzone.
Perfect.
And it looked like the little shells that you throw.
Oh my god.
And it was pretty good for the price, and the taste was pretty good. And when you think theme park Italian food, I don't think you think high quality,
right?
But I was pretty pleased with it. And then they also had lots of themed drinks. There's this banana ice cream situation in the Donkey Kong portion of the park that we were going to experience, but they ran out of the waffle cones that they need to make it. So we weren't able to, but it looks great. And there's a lot of examples of like themed fun food and drink like that.
That's awesome. I think that's been something that Universal has been missing.
I totally agree. Like quick serve, good.
And it was good.
It was good.
Yeah, that's amazing. Oh my gosh.
We also, another fun themed thing was, if you're watching on the visual version, you can see the souvenir cup that we got. But in Dark Universe, we ate lunch at Das Steakhouse, which is like a dark dungeon themed sit down quick serve.
Nice.
Which was unique, very original. It's like, yeah, I've never had such a spooky quick service meal in my entire life.
Mm.
But it's all horror themed. So the chicken sandwich is like a blood orange chicken sandwich.
Oh my gosh.
And it comes with this like blood sauce. And then for a drink, I got this like mocktail that was like melon syrups and Sprite and things, and it comes in like a lab experiment beaker.
Oh, is that this?
Yes,
Okay,
that's this.
that's if you're watching the visual version, you can see it.
Yes.
It's a take home. Nice.
Yeah, it was a take home. So those are all like examples of the fun themed foods that they have in each section. And I think it really adds to the fun of having a theme park meal.
Yeah. Okay. That's amazing. That,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, that sounds so exciting. So did you find that the foods, the snacks to be more expensive than what you would expect, or about on par for theme park?
I would say about on par. The chicken sandwich, I believe, was around $18 for the meal, which was the sandwich, and it comes with fries and the dipping sauces. It's not what I would necessarily want to pay for a chicken sandwich,
Right.
and I wouldn't say it was like the best chicken breast patty in the world or anything. But for theme park prices, it's about what you can expect. You know, that's pretty on par with what we've experienced in Universal and Disney in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And
a little bit more, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit more
than Disney.
I would say so. But it's also, I would say the food was very fresh and the portions were generous. So for a generous theme park portion, I didn't find it to be that exorbitant. My themed drink was $12, I believe, but it came with a souvenir cup. So I would say that's not too bad.
No, that sounds about right.
Yeah, they normally charge like $8 or $9 sometimes just for
or
a
more,
mocktail.
just for a mocktail.
So $12 including something to take home with you, I think is pretty decent.
Fair. Yeah.
And I think the snacks are pretty good too. I think the calzone was $6.99 or something, which it was a small portion, but it is theme park food.
Yeah.
So,
okay. That's about on par.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Kind of on par.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. So this dungeon quick serve.
Yeah.
So more spooky than like the West Wing section of Be Our Guest. I have to relate it to what I know, which is Disney. So.
Yes, very. Yeah, I would say the lighting was kind of similar. Where it was like low lighting, and then every now and then the lights would all turn red, and it would be, there'd be a spooky moment like that, which definitely reminded me of that West Wing.
And was the decor?
The decor is spooky.
Was it really scary? Like gory?
Not really scary. There are some like figures like in the walls. They don't move or anything.
Oh
but there's,
my god!
There's a vampire. There's this little girl with a scary mask on.
Wow!
So it is horror themed.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I feel like
a kid wouldn't maybe be scared for that.
I would say I wouldn't. I did see kids in there and they were fine because there's not like jump scares. There's not like...
That's what I would be worried about.
Right.
As a kid.
Nothing jumps out.
I would be worried about it now.
Yeah.
So but you walk in there and you could tell that these figures weren't all of a sudden going to like come to life.
Yeah. It was very clear that they were like staying there and that the only change would be every now and then there was this like flood of red light into the room. Yeah.
Okay. Oh my gosh. I'm very excited for this restaurant.
Yeah, I think you would really enjoy the novelty of like eating in like a castle dungeon. It's so strange.
Yeah, when we did Universal Hollywood, we did the themed, I can't remember the name of it now because it's been a minute, Mario Land.
Toadstool Cafe.
Yes, Toadstool Cafe. And that they have that here too,
They do have that here, yep.
There, I had to pay like $30 for a bowl of soup.
I know.
Because you got to take home the bowl, which I didn't want because I was taking a flight where I had limited luggage space.
Dang.
And they would not sell it to me without it. I had to pay the $30. But here, I hear that they're not doing that, which you just pay for the soup.
Yeah, I think
which is good.
I've heard that too.
Because what a waste. I felt so bad about that.
Yeah, I like when you have the option.
Yeah,
to have the take-home souvenir.
I had a luggage, and there was a weight amount of 50 pounds, and I was at like 49.9. I could not shove you know what I mean? Like, this is not happening.
You're taking this like theme park trinket.
Right, and then I'm like, where can I go to donate this? Because I don't want to waste it. Yeah. Oh man, that was rough.
Oh.
But the restaurant itself was so charming.
Oh yeah.
Because it it was just, there was so much to it. There were screens that things were happening on.
Mm-hmm.
It was like fully immersive for a quick serve restaurant. And we do get that some at Disney, but not as much as I would like. I like, it'd be great if they were all like that from now on, which maybe they will be.
Yeah, maybe.
But we
This
had
is
that
the
with Be
new
Our Guest,
thing.
and then they took it away and made it $65 a person, not quick serve.
I know, that was actually something I really liked about this park experience, was that even the quick serve locations were super themed.
I know you wouldn't have experienced this because you were on tight time because this was a preview day, but did you notice or have you heard of if they have any sit-down restaurants?
They do have sit-down restaurants.
Because Universal's not known for that right now.
Right.
They've got the one.
Oh, yeah, that's true. In Celestial Park, there are multiple sit-down options.
Really?
One, I believe, is called Atlantis, perhaps, and it's like a very... I would say it's...
That's funny because that's the one that they have is kind of themed like that.
Yeah, Mythos.
Yeah.
It does have that same kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But this one isn't like... The vibe isn't the ruins of Atlantis or anything. It's like an upscale kind of celestial aquatic theme. Almost like a flying fish, almost type of vibe, like sophisticated type of energy.
Got it.
We didn't have the chance to eat there. We didn't have a sit-down meal. But they do have sit-down options at Epic Universe.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Because I feel like that's something that has been missing.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so let's see. That covers pretty much, that's all the food you had. You had that.
I'm trying to think. I got a refillable cup because we were going to be there from park open to park closed.
And it was hot.
And it was unbelievably hot.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was mostly water in there most of the day, to be honest. But they have Coca-Cola freestyle machines everywhere, all throughout the park. And they have a refillable cup option, which is something I wish Disney would do.
Mm-hmm.
But something else that was really cool was they had in the freestyle machines, in each land, there's a specialty drink.
Really?
Yeah. So in Dark Universe, it's like a bloodberry cola.
Oh, wow.
In Burke, in the Dragon.
Did you try them?
Yeah, I tried.
God.
I didn't get to try all of them. At some points, I just needed to drink water because of how hot it was.
Sure.
But I made sure to try the Dark Universe one. I'm
a
huge Universal Monsters fan, so that's why I was excited to try everything. And it was good. And I also tried in the main area of the park called Celestial Park in the middle. They had a Celestial Spritz, which was like an orange seltzer water kind of thing. And that was nice and refreshing. So I thought they were pretty good.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was just a little thing like to be in a freestyle machine, but I thought it was whimsical.
Very whimsical. I love that.
Yeah.
Michael wants me to ask you about the dragons.
Oh, in the How to Train Your Dragon land?
I guess.
Yeah, there were... So my favorite thing about the land of Isle of Burke is that there are these kind of animated dragon figures all throughout the land.
Okay.
So
just walking around?
Not walking around, but they'll be... they're...
Wait, animatronic?
They are animatronic, and then there is one, I believe, meet and greet dragon that is walk around.
Out in the elements?
Out in the elements.
Wow.
But, so, there's, if you come up to a fence, and there's some dragons that are, eating fish out of a bowl, and they're just little animatronic dragons.
Wow, they're just there.
And there's, you would think they were like birdhouses, but then a dragon tail and its feet would be sticking out of it, and the tail is waving around.
Wow.
And they're just kind of up there. And there's this one dragon where if you stand in front of it long enough, it'll kind of sniffle its nose, and then it'll sneeze like mist all over you. Which I know, kind of gross, but still having all of those little animatronic dragon figures all around is a really, really nice touch to bring some motion to the land. And I thought it was really
very
impressive.
Cool.
And I hope that Disney, if there's some things that Disney takes from this new theme park to incorporate into their future lands, I love that aspect of that land. Yeah. The kinetic energy of it all. I thought it was so great.
I think it was a big bummer for us Disney fans when we lost that. We knew that we were supposed to get a lot of that in Galaxy's Edge and Star Wars,
Ah.
and then it was kind of taken away for budget cuts. Although I
Mhm.
feel like there's a little bit more of the characters walking around now,
Yes.
but there's not the robots that we were promised,
Right. The
which
free
probably would
roaming.
have been similar to
Yes.
this, like in a totally different way. But you know what I mean?
Yeah. I didn't get to see this firsthand, but I also know that in that land they have like a drone dragon that
Oh,
flies around over the top of the land,
okay.
that you can kind of just see when you're walking around. We didn't get to see that. It's preview, so I don't know if it was because it wasn't ready yet or if it wasn't working that day or what it
Mm.
was, but just knowing that that does exist is really um, quite the commitment to theming,
Yeah.
Like,
Very, very
wow.
exciting.
Yeah.
I love it when they'll do stuff for people that isn't like a ride. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like you're not making really any extra money off of this. It's not, but it's going the extra mile. And I really love that.
Exactly.
Okay. Should I go ahead and go down the list of rides and tell me what you think?
Yeah.
Did you do or see the Constellation Carousel?
That was actually the very first thing we did.
Good.
We
I
had,
could see people like adults like skipping this.
yeah, we considered it, to be honest.
Okay.
But it is a very charming ride. As far as the carousel goes, I thought it was very fun. They play this like dancing music. You get on your celestial creature, and what separates this from most carousels is once the ride begins, the
What's a
hydraulic.
celestial character?
They're like, I believe each of the animals, so like peacock, bear, rabbit, I believe they're all constellations.
Okay,
Mhm.
got it.
So each of the ride vehicles, as you're going around, it kind of takes you up real high in the
Oh,
sky. Not like crazy high, but maybe like
so this is
10
not like
feet up and
a
down.
horse carousel.
It kind of is like a traditional carousel, except it also slowly lifts you up real high and then
Okay,
slowly
so
takes you
you
back
must be
down.
restrained better though.
Yeah, you've got a real good seatbelt
Okay.
on you. Yeah.
Interesting.
I thought it was really cute.
Yeah, all right. It looks cute. If nothing else, it's a looks like a nice ambiance,
Yes.
like add addition to this front part of the park, right?
Totally. Yep.
Okay, so Starfall Racers.
Yes. This ended up being, I would say, the group favorite.
Oh.
Of everybody. This is a dueling roller coaster. It's now called Stardust Racers.
Okay.
It
changed already?
I think it was updated before the previews even started.
Okay, gosh, I hope my
No, I think things change fast
quick,
in this
okay.
part of in this portion of the
I
theme
wonder
park.
why.
I don't know. Sometimes things change, like after opening.
Yeah, but
in
this
theme
they went
parks.
from Starfall to Stardust. I mean, what could possibly have made them
Maybe
do that?
people don't want to hear the word
Fall.
fall on a roller coaster.
Yeah, that makes
Maybe,
sense.
I don't
Okay,
know.
all right.
But this is a dueling roller coaster. Universal has a history of an amazing dueling roller coaster, Dueling Dragons.
Mhm.
And this definitely reminded me of that in track layout.
I didn't like Dueling Dragons.
Really?
Yeah.
It's definitely a coaster fan favorite, Dueling Dragons.
All right.
This was an extremely smooth roller coaster.
Well, maybe that's the difference.
Oh, you didn't like Dueling Dragons because it wasn't smooth?
Yeah, but it was a long time ago that I went on it.
And
so
it was old.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And the queue was bad. And then when you got up there, they were trusting you to put yourself in a line, which we could do, but not everybody was great about that.
Yeah, I could see how that's problematic.
Go on.
Yeah, this was what was really remarkable about this is throughout the experience, there's a lot of like near misses where the tracks wind around each other and they launch the coasters at the exact same time. So it really does feel like you're racing against the people next to you and you interact with the other cars throughout the track.
Wow.
It has the thrill of Velocicoaster, like a lot of inversion, a lot of sharp angular
But
movement,
shoulder restraints?
shoulder restraints, and I got a lot of airtime on this ride.
Really?
I was out of my seat several times, and
Wow.
that is a wild experience for 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Definitely woke me up, but
And for your height,
yeah,
you know, you don't
and
normally get that, right? Because you're
no,
normally pushed down by the shoulder restraints.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I get that feel. I get that a little bit more than you, I think. But
I think so. I was surprised by how
yeah,
much. But yeah, I loved it. It's also rare that we have new theme park attractions that are not themed to an IP at
yeah,
all. And this is like, although it's not the most themed thing in the world, it's a roller coaster with a themed queue and themed,
right.
ride cars. I still really enjoy the theme. There's like before you walk in, there's a sign above the queue that tells you that basically the theme is that you're racing comets through the night sky.
Okay,
And that's like
that's
the
funny.
idea of the roller coaster.
So it never looks like you're gonna run into the other person.
No, the track kind of wraps around the other track
Yeah, I like that.
sometimes, and you're like, it feels like you're winding around each other, but there's no real collision,
Right, good.
moment.
Good,
Yeah.
good. Okay, so next we have Curse of the Werewolf, which you said you couldn't do, right?
Could not do.
Okay, so then Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein experiment.
I could talk about this the entire hour of our podcast.
I assumed this is your favorite land.
Yeah, Dark Universe was definitely my favorite, but I kind of suspected it was going to be.
Me too. I suspect it will be mine as well.
Yeah.
Heavily themed.
Heavily themed. A great inland story where everybody in the land is telling the story, which is amazing.
There's no jump scares like just walking around either, right? It's not like, okay, good.
It's just a really like foreboding atmosphere.
Good.
And I think that is one of the things I love about it, is that it doesn't rely on like cheap jump out type of moments. It just sets the tone of a dark, Victorian village really well, and then the rides provide the thrill, which I think is fabulous.
Yeah.
So the attraction itself, Monsters Unchained, I tried desperately to avoid spoilers for this going in, and I was successful. However, when we rode the ride, the thing I was most excited about are these amazing animatronic figures that Universal had teased that were going to be part of the ride. And when we were riding, I watched a ride through afterward when I had gotten home for the day. And it was at that point I realized that I believe there were 3 figures in the ride that were not working when we rode it.
Well, that's what a preview's for.
Exactly. So I wasn't upset because it's a preview of the attraction, but at the same time,
it wasn't free, but
that too. But at the same time, I knew that I would have to go back to experience, it in all of its glory. I will say though, the queue is set in the actual castle itself, which is very impressive. There's a pre-show, a pre-show, and then the experience itself.
Oh, yay.
So there's a ton of storytelling, animatronics in the pre-show and the ride.
Oh my gosh.
Animatronics everywhere. And the amazing thing about the Kuka arm system that they use in Forbidden Journey, in Islands of Adventure and in this attraction, is when they combined the timing of it with the timing of the animatronics, it really feels like they are interacting directly with your ride car. So it's a very thrilling experience, very highly themed. And I, as like a Universal Monsters person, was totally blown away by the mix of practical effects, animatronics, and the occasional screen in there. So I loved it.
I'm most excited about this one.
I think you're going to love it.
How scary are we talking?
It's actually not all that scary.
So like, then is it kind of like Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey? Because that's got like spookiness, but I'm not like actually scared.
Yeah, I think it's very similar, because there are moments in that are, like the spider scene, the ghost scenes, the Dementors, that are spooky, that are a little, bone chilling, but it's never you never really feel
like something's gonna get
terrorized.
you.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
I don't think you would be too afraid to have your eyes open
Okay.
in this attraction.
Me as a person who doesn't do Halloween Horror Nights because I'm too scared.
Yeah. I don't think
jump scares and stuff like
exactly.
that. Yeah.
I don't think we ever got to that level.
No jump scares.
No real jump scares.
Okay, cool. Okay, so next we've got Dragon Racers Rally.
Okay, so Dragon Racers Rally, I believe, is not the roller coaster, but is you're in like gliders.
Skyfly ride?
Mm-hmm. I did not get to experience this.
Is it a kid ride?
I don't think it's specifically marketed towards children.
Okay.
I think it is a very family-friendly ride.
Okay.
I have heard from the people in the party that it's like you're on an arm and there's a bunch of gliders on each and it kind of soars you around. Great views of the land, but kind of short.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Interesting. Is this Fire Drill?
Fire Drill, yeah. That is the water ride in the Isle of Berk. That is
spelled with a Y?
I know, why. I don't know.
Maybe it relates to the movie.
Perhaps.
In a way we don't understand.
Yeah. Did not get to ride that. And I think that's something that nobody in our group
was interested in.
Was able to ride or was interested in riding. Yeah.
It's a boat ride?
Yeah. You're in boats.
Splash battle ride.
Yeah, I believe you're like hitting targets with water somehow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a little bit more kid friendly.
I think this land is very
it sounds like it.
Very kid friendly.
Okay. Hiccup's Wing Gliders.
Yeah, that's the roller coaster.
Okay.
That we did get to experience. Very fun. Very smooth in like a Slinky Dog Dash kind of way.
Okay.
Some animatronics, a fun little story. I really enjoyed it. As somebody who saw How to Train Your Dragon when it came out years ago, and
same.
I don't know, I'm not that invested in it.
I'm gonna go see the live one though.
Oh yeah. My husband's very excited for that, so I think I'll see it too.
Bailey's like, they could not have done better on casting, and I completely agree. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
The guy that's playing the kid looks, he's got a very similar look.
I completely agree. That looks like perfectly cast.
Anyway, sorry, I got you off track.
No, that's okay.
So the Wing Glider, sorry.
Very enjoyable, family-friendly coaster.
Okay, like Slinky. Okay, cool. Yeah. Good to know.
Super.
Okay, so then going into Ministry of Magic, so there's not the train.
No.
I do want to ask about that. Remind me to jump back to how you get from this park to another park.
Okay.
Battle of the Ministry of Magic is the one that you didn't do. Oh, that's their only ride.
Yeah, that is the only ride
over
there.
One ride. That's shocking.
We did make sure to go into the land, though.
They must have plans for another. Did you have a butterbeer?
I did not have a butterbeer. I really was the whole time I was.
You're like, I can't do this without Morgan.
Literally.
100%.
I was like, oh, I wish Morgan were here because we could have a butterbeer. And they were also selling like these butterbeer t-shirts. And I was like, I need Morgan.
They put a whole like store and like butterbeer bar in the front part that's not even in the park. So.
Oh, City Walk?
Thank you.
Yeah,
I was like, we talk about this all the time.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's exciting. We could go without even park tickets one day.
we should do that. Yeah. We should just try a City Walk restaurant and do that.
Parking is free after 6, so we totally could do that.
That would be fun.
Yes. Anyway, so you didn't have a butterbeer. I understand.
No,
thank you. That's sweet.
Did not have a butterbeer. And to be honest, we didn't really spend a ton of time in this land.
Because you couldn't go on that ride.
Because we couldn't go on the ride. A couple of our friends would have interactive wands, so they went around and did the wand stuff that you could do in the land. But I will say this. The land is themed to 1920s Paris.
Oh, nice.
And it is beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
You feel like you're in like the charming European city streets. And they have walk around characters that interact with you.
Okay.
And it is very, very sweet. And as somebody who does not care about Fantastic Beasts at all,
right,
I thought the land was so charming and I loved it. And even if the ride sucks, I'm glad that the land itself is so well themed and awesome.
Do you think there's space for them to put another ride back there at some point? Because
Actually,
one ride in a land is crazy.
I read that there is a space there that could have been used for a ride that was canceled before they built the park. So maybe
they'll see how it goes.
Maybe they will build another
That's
ride.
what happened with the Harry Potter land in Islands of Adventure, correct?
I think so.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think that they had one ride when they opened and then they added another.
Right. Yeah.
Right. There's two.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah. Anyway. Okay, Super Nintendo World. We've got Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. I've done this one, but you probably did it.
I did it, yeah.
They have this in Universal Hollywood.
How did you like it?
I liked it a lot, but I felt like I wanted to go back on it without
the goggles. Okay,
yeah.
Same. We have the same brain.
Yeah.
I felt the same way.
I was like, I'm missing everything. And you're making me look at screens when you put all this effort into all of these physical sets.
There were so many rooms in that ride. Like, there's a room where there's clouds all around you, and I'm like, oh, I just want to like take the time to take it all in.
Yeah.
But you're supposed to be hitting people with shells and stuff.
It's very distracting if you want to take it all in. We'll have to go back and just go on it and just be like, yeah, we're gonna just look around.
I saw people do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw people do that, and I think that is literally. I think everybody in our group had a very similar reaction of, I really liked it, but I had this problem with the goggles, keeping my eyes open, made my eyes water, or the AR sometimes didn't perfectly line up with the ride.
Okay.
And that might be like a helmet fit issue. It might be like, a layering problem, but those types of things were pretty distracting for everybody in the party. So I definitely want to try it again. And this was, unfortunately, we waited over 200 minutes for this attraction.
Good Lord.
At the beginning of the day, it was not open. We thought that we weren't going to be able to ride it at all, which was kind of disappointing because there were two other major attractions that weren't going to be open. So we were glad to ride it, but we waited over 200 minutes and then it broke down before we got onto it. So we waited even longer.
Wow.
So it was really...
That was a bummer.
That was a long wait.
The one in Hollywood, the queue is really nice. Is it?
Yeah.
Is it good there?
It's a really good queue.
I wonder if it's a replica.
I think they might be the same. I haven't looked into it.
We waited a long time too, not nearly that long. But I was thinking at least the queue it's like entertaining.
It was
cool. Air conditioned.
We were so grateful to be in the AC though. So yeah, it was definitely a good queue.
Yeah.
I will say, I don't think people will probably have to wait that long.
No, that had to have been a fluke.
Under regular, I think it's because it opened halfway through the day.
So everybody had to go on it.
Exactly. Yeah. So everybody made a run for it. And then at the same time, the Battle of the Ministry went down. So literally everybody in the park, I think, ran right for Mario Kart.
All right. Minecart Madness
was closed.
Right. Okay, Yoshi's Adventure.
And Yoshi's Adventure was the one thing in Super Mario Land that we did not get to do. Although it is something that I definitely would like to get to do because you can see it from the land. It's like a little people mover type attraction, except you're riding on Yoshis.
Aww.
Looks very cute.
Yeah. That's exciting.
Definitely need to get into that.
Okay, that's it for the rides. So you feel like every land was wildly immersive, right? Like they really did it.
I think that is actually, apart from in-ride experiences, I think the best thing about Epic Universe is the immersion in
every land.
In every land.
I feel like Universal killed it when they put in Harry Potter in both of the parks that they had. With immersion, but then some of the other lands that are older, not so much.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this one, they didn't just do it in Harry Potter and the Dark Universe. They did it in all of them.
Right. Yeah. In every land that you walk through, as soon as you walk through the portal into each of the lands, you are definitely, definitely surrounded.
Yeah, the floor.
By the
I mean, I haven't seen it. I'm asking, but I imagine because of how Harry Potter is, the ground tells you where you're at. The plants tell you where you're at. The stores, Yeah.
Super immersive.
Amazing.
Super immersive.
I cannot wait.
Yeah, the Battle of the Ministry land is like completely 1920s Paris. Everywhere you look, every cast member's outfits, all the walk around characters, every sign is in French. Everything is like completely immersive.
Maybe we should watch the movie.
I know, right? I thought that while I was
It's so
there.
funny how theme park rides or theme park lands or whatever will make me want to watch a movie. It should be the other way around, but anyway.
I know. I feel
that's
the
how
same.
we're at. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
Yeah. Super Nintendo Land. Obviously, you've been. That is like an overload of the senses.
Yeah,
There's
the one in
immersion
Hollywood's
everywhere.
a little smaller, but it is so. It was amazing. Yeah, that's another one. For me, I was like, oh my God, it's really like I walked into a video game.
It really, yeah. It's overwhelming with the immersive quality of every inch of it. Isle of Berk, the Dragonland, like I said, there's dragons everywhere, but even the pathways, the buildings, I
wonder if people will call it that.
Isle of Berk or How to Train Your Dragon.
That's what I think.
I think How to Train Your Dragon.
It's going to be a Star Wars land situation.
Could be.
But maybe you're right. Maybe that it's too long. Maybe they'll call it Dragonland.
Honestly.
When I say they, I mean we.
I know, right? I'm like, honestly, I kind of call it Dragonland in my brain.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that is such a colorful, fun, immersive land. And I think...
with the animatronics,
Yeah. And Dark Universe, everything is cobblestone. Everything is slate gray. There's fog. There's a bell that rings. To let you know to watch out for the monsters. Every cast member, when you're done interacting with you, instead of saying have a good day, they say good luck out there, so you don't get attacked by a monster.
Amazing.
They also have walk around characters there that are really amazing, like Igor, the Dr. Frankenstein's assistant, and the Invisible Man. They walk around. We also got to do a meet and greet there with Frankenstein and the bride. That was awesome. They literally probably talked to us for over maybe 5 or 6 minutes, which was great. The lands are super immersive. We were very impressed with like the level of detail that went into everything. And we also had like kind of a unique experience because one of our friends there was able to book later in the day. They had an opening for an experience called a monster makeover you can do. My husband called it Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique because it's like a scary version of that. But
that's so funny.
Adults can do it, obviously. So yeah, he was transformed.
Extra cost?
Extra cost.
A lot?
I believe it's like $200.
Whoa.
So
so really like Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But you go into this makeup room and it is also like Victorian Gothic themed.
So you all got to go in?
Yeah, you can take people in with you. So
I'm sure not a group of 10, but
no, it was only 3 of us, including the one being made over in there. But I was like, oh my God, I get to go in. I'm so excited because wow, I don't know how many people are doing it, but
yeah, I'd be like, I'll chip in if you'll let me just sit here and watch.
I know. I was like, I'll hold your stuff. Stuff. So they paint your face.
Okay.
There's like a hoodie / headwear situation.
Okay.
Paws, pants, feet, character shoes. And
you get to keep that stuff?
Oh yeah. So all of that is baked into the $200.
Okay.
The makeup and the full costume.
Oh wow. Actually, that's not bad then.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
And then when you're done,
if it was just makeup.
I know. That's what I was thinking. It was like $200 for them to paint your face.
Mm-hmm.
I could paint your face.
Right.
When you're done with the experience, the person who made you over walks you out into the village and rings a bell and says, "Beware, there's a
So what did he get turned into?
A werewolf. He was a wolf.
You'll have to ask him if we can post a picture.
Oh yeah. It was I should. He was very happy about it, and it was a very cool experience to be able to watch, and I was very impressed by how they were able to make that experience for adults so like comprehensive in theme and satisfying for the guests. It was really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So just real quick, I want to ask you about the transportation.
Okay.
So Tell me, because it's not close to the other two parks, right?
No, it is not.
We got an Animal Kingdom situation going on here.
It isn't. That is actually one of the kind of detracting features of the park, I
Okay.
think, is that it is so not connected to anything. I believe you can take a bus from the City Walk Universal area to get to Epic Universe.
Okay.
But other than that, it is.
Okay, but they do have parking over there.
Yeah, there's a big old parking lot.
You could hypothetically park at City Walk and then move your car if you were park hopping.
I think yes.
Okay.
I think definitely yes.
I think I heard there'll be a boat.
Really? I would love that.
I mean, you know, the internet. And this,
I know. It's
especially
hard to
before
trust
the park is open, it's really hard to trust anything. Yeah. So don't take me for I just saw that on the internet. So
yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah, I would love more transportation options. I think that's always. But Universal, ever since the addition of Volcano Bay, there's kind of that, and then there's Universal Islands of Adventure.
But that made sense because it was a water park.
Yeah, and now
it's not like you could go from one to the other anyway. You'd have to change.
That's actually what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is there's the opening theme parks, and now there's Epic Universe. So now I feel like their entire resort is totally spread out without a real strong transportation network apart from the bus.
Right.
System.
Is Epic Universe a full day park?
Epic Universe is definitely a full day.
Okay, so that helps.
Yeah, it is true. I mean? Yeah, but there are people who desire to park hop.
Yes, and once we have annual passes, we'll probably want to park hop.
Oh yeah, the locals, I'm sure, are among the people who really would like more transportation options. Yeah. But even just for people who are looking to do, you know, a half day at one park, you know, maybe you don't feel like you need 2 full days at Epic Universe. So maybe you want to do a day and a half at Epic and a half day, you know, at City Walk or one of the other parks or something. Yeah. Would be nice if there were more transportation options.
Right. But, so we'll see. We'll see what happens with that.
We shall see.
All right. So you loved it.
I really loved it. I think I will. Once they iron out the kinks a little bit more, I think I'll love it even more.
Yeah.
But I could see the vision for how awesome it's going to be when it opens, and it's awesome to see Universal delivering such a quality themed product.
Yes. And if you are fans of us because you're a Disney purist and you don't care about Universal, at the very least, this will provide some good inspiration for them. Like having a competition will make them need to step it up, which is great for us as Disney fans too.
Oh, totally. I don't think we would have gotten the announcement of Villains Land or Cars maybe without this opening. So it's definitely something that benefits. Thanks a lot, Universal. It like benefits everyone. Truly. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. I can't wait to go.
Oh, we're going to have so much fun.
Yeah. I can't wait.
I can't wait to experience it with you. It'll be a blast. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. If you've enjoyed this episode, then you want to follow along some of our adventures on social media as well. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok at Neverland Navco, and we would love to have you over there on those short form platforms as well.
Yes, and we also have an Etsy shop called Neverland Navigation on Etsy. That's where most of my clients, they choose to get the trip t-shirts when they book a vacation with me. So if you email me at neverlandnavigationco@gmail.com, we can talk about your vacation and if you want to go to Epic Universe and what your shirts would be. Do you want different monsters?
Heck yeah, that would be awesome. Love that. All right, we're off to plan some more epic theme park adventures, so we'll see you on our next adventure. Bye. Oh, I feel like that had to be long.
Yeah, so long. But I don't know. Bailey's not back yet. I don't think so. 55.